but I could go for a cup of coffee. That's all right. All right, I'll just deal with it. Okay. Um. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Typical Skeptic Podcast. This is one of my Christmas episodes this year, so I'll be doing this episode tonight with Missy, where we'll be talking about all things conspiracy related. You guys can call in. We'll be bringing in the Christmas and winter solstice vibes. And it's no, Missy's a fan favorite here. The audience loves when she comes on, and she's one of my favorite guests. She's a paranormal historian, a galactic researcher, a grid worker, and a multidimensional experiencer known for her deep dives into esoteric timelines, hidden histories, and the metaphysics behind global events. With decades of exploration of the paranormal, UFO encounters, interdimensional phenomena, and ancient cosmologies, Missy brings a unique ability to weave together intuition, research, and lived experience. And I'm gonna put the call-in number up on the screen. You guys can call in soon. We're gonna go over some topics first, but here's the call-in number. It's 573-877-7637, and we'll be taking calls all night long. And before we introduce Missy, I just want to say thank you to everybody in the community that kind of got my back and helped me out today when YouTube kind of left me stranded with my payments. So it means a lot to me, and you guys saved my butt. So I appreciate this community a lot. And Missy, thanks so much for coming back on. Merry Christmas. Happy winter solstice. How are you?
Merry Catmas.
Hey, Arthur. He looks so adorable.
He's hyper. And here's his tree, his little Grinch scratching post tree. And the other day I decided I would get him a tent. Look at his Garfield.
That is awesome.
Isn't that cute?
Yeah.
Just about had it with the sweater. I wanted him to be dressed up. Let me get the sweater off of him. He's not happy. Come here. You can have the sweater off of you now. You're free. You are free now. Free at last. Like all of us. Free from the Matrix at last. Yeah, I just felt that we needed to have a show. There's just everything is so crazy right now that it just feels like it's time to have one. And the solstice was just nuts. And of course, I have to be all decorated and whimsical with alien Grinch earrings. I'll take this guy off of me. This is my friend gave me my gnome, so I'm carrying him around. And look at this shirt.
Tell the audience what it says, Missy, if you can.
It's Darth Vader saying, "I find your lack of festiveness disturbing."
Oh, I love that. I love that.
And with everything, with the light and the dark, it feels like it's Krampus, the dark side. It's just the dark side of Christmas.
Yeah. The audience said they couldn't hear you. I just turned up her volume, guys, to maximum on her microphone. So
you can't hear me now?
I can hear you good. I can hear you perfectly, but I turned up your volume to maximum. So it should be good,
Let me get a little closer to it. Okay, so
guess what I was watching before this, Missy? You'll never guess. I rented National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation off of YouTube, and I took a nap and I was listening to it. Man, Randy Quaid in that movie was hilarious. Do you remember that movie?
I love that. You said Christmas Vacation, right? That's the one where the squirrel is in the Christmas tree. I love it. I mean, it's just great. And you know what?
And Randy,
this whole Chevy Chase thing ties into, because the regular vacation. You remember what happened to Stonehenge and the regular vacation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it got knocked down by Chevy Chase, right?
Yeah.
But what's been interesting is I didn't realize now that Stonehenge was actually open again for people to do ceremonies. And what they do is very, very similar to what people do in Asheville with their drum circles. And there was a black cat there. That's what the big news was, is that there was this black cat named Moon at the rocks in Stonehenge.
Wow.
So I thought that was pretty cool. We'll be working with the black cat cards tonight. And I just thought that was really interesting because in spite of all the bad shit going on in the UK, at least that's open again. So I was like, wow, that's
Yeah.
kind of neat, you know.
Yeah, maybe that's a sign for the good, or
And you know, Stonehenge is actually Stargate 11 and part of that Nephilim reversal grid, and it is important to the rise of Arthur and to the Michael Mary line. So it's something to pay attention to because it felt benevolent watching those ceremonies that I actually watched. It felt benevolent. And this solstice, we did our own meditation, and it was very potent and important. I want to tell you what happened that night. Normally, I don't fall asleep during ceremonies, maybe during the wheat stock one, which is the Festival of the Buddha, which is a full moon festival that's usually between Taurus and Gemini full moon in around like the end of May or the beginning of June. You have what's called the Festival of the Buddha, the Festival of the Christ, and the Festival of Humanity. These moons that are important as far as setting the tone of what would be harvested later in the year, even though we know the moon is a artificial satellite that's been hijacked, but everything is polarized and there's good and bad in all these things. Everything is dualistic in nature, right? As above, so below, and as within, so without. So when we did our meditation, it was feeling very much like when we when we go really high up, and I started almost like falling asleep in between the meditations. Like I was half asleep, half awake, and what I call this liminal space, which is like almost like a dream state. It's between waking and sleeping. And I didn't know why I felt this way or in the meaning of it until what happened in the middle of the night. So I used the bathroom around 1:30 at night. I couldn't fall asleep because after the ceremony I had a lot of energy, and and by the way, I'm burning frankincense and drinking ginger tea, and we're going to get into ginger and gingerbread men because I made a gingerbread house at my dad's, and I brought some.
I saw those pictures. I posted your Instagram and Facebook in the description tonight. I did when we did the last show with Indy, I did that too. But I made sure to post your Instagram and Facebook, and I was checking out your Instagram today. I saw pictures of Arthur, and I saw pictures of your gingerbread house. I thought that was cool.
Do you remember Gingy and Shrek? Do you remember?
No, I never watched. I mean, because I don't have kids, I never watched a lot of.
In Saturday Night Live, there was a character that was like a cookie too. I can't remember his name. Do you remember that name of the cookie dude in Saturday Night Live? Gingy was sort of like that. Google that because I just that's just off the cuff. But I was thinking about Gingy, and I'll tell you the benefits of ginger in a minute. But what I want to tell you first is. So at 1:30 in the morning, I finally got tired enough after listening to some things. I used the bathroom. After 2:00 in the morning, the cops come to the door here. We didn't hear it, but our friends did. And they wanted to search the house because there was like a manhunt. Now, Ron had heard sirens before that, like all these sirens going up and down.
Missy, 1 second. I didn't need to interrupt you, but Matthew in the audience said your audio is really bad. I tried to fix it. I tried to raise your audio up as loud as I could. I'm not trying to be annoying. I don't know. It's like they're saying you're like really faint. They're probably messing with us. I mean, I can turn down my volume if that makes it better. I don't know if that'll help or I mean, I don't know what else to do. It's StreamYard. It's a problem with StreamYard.
External noise here and see if it helps. I had a fan on because it started to get hot. Let me just turn that down and see if that helps at all.
Hey, Arizona Raven, I like your picture. Her picture, I didn't really realize how beautiful Arizona Raven was. Oh my God.
Yeah. Great picture of her.
She's a knockout. And she's been like a mom to my podcast, so that's weird for me to say that. Like, she knows I'm just messing around, I mean, but I'm being nice, Yeah. But,
do you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you fine. I don't know if the audience can. They'll tell us, I'm sure. But I mean, You know,
Ask
like
him
I can
again.
hear you absolutely fine. You know.
Okay, so anyway,
Okay, sorry.
the cops come to the door, look like there's like a manhunt going on, looking for, and kind of like harassing. My friends were in a deep sleep when they went to the door, so they, yeah, yeah.
I'm listening to you in the other part of the house. You're doing fine.
Okay, my husband can hear me, so maybe it's just some people can't. He says I sound fine. He's listening in the
I
other
just
part of
turned
the.
up the volume on my computer too. Like that, maybe that'll help. Like, you know, like so, like when your sound comes out, maybe it'll come out louder because I turned the volume up on my computer. So hopefully that helps.
But anyway, they were like my friends. If I had answered the door, I probably would have said, "What is this? Like, do you have a warrant? Show me your papers." Because they wanted them to step out of the house. They want, and these lights are flashing now. So now I'm getting outside light harassment. I probably would have said, because I've had this happen before, where cops, that's why I thought of that song. Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, bad boys. Remember that show? It started in 1989, and then they did away with that show in 2000. I mean, a lot of it's like domestic violence, drugs, and all that stuff. But so when they're coming, they saw that the garage door opened. They had the address wrong, but it was just a weird metaphor for the cops to come here after that meditation we had. And I was thinking, oh, this is like part of the bifurcation where, we're going to have all this stuff going on around us, right? I mean, I wasn't part of this. This wasn't really part of my reality because I slept through it. And the funny thing is like the back of the house, they said, is there anybody else in the house? They said, no, because we're not actually in the house. We're on the back side of the house. So that was kind of
Yeah.
interesting. And what it reminded me of is a few years back talking about these things of good and bad and how laws change and things. There used to be times when there was always checkpoints. Do you remember when there was checkpoints all the time? They'd always be doing checkpoints. And one time I was doing night vision up on the Blue Ridge Parkway, and they wanted me to step out of the car. I had the night vision in the car. I didn't have a thing to drink except like coffee in the car, and they made me get out and do the drunk driving test. Like get out and do this, walk the straight line, and of course, because of the nature of me, I make a joke out of it, and I start mouthing off like, what is this? Like, show me your papers? I mean, they could have taken me in handcuffs. It's coming up on the 1 year anniversary of when I got thrown out of the YMCA. Remember, I
What
told
did you
I
get
got
thrown out of the YMCA for?
because I mouthed off and questioned authority for the yoga police. Because I said, it's not COVID anymore. What's the reason I'm not allowed to go in a yoga class? There's plenty of room in the yoga class, and they threw me out for that. And they said and they called the cops because I wouldn't leave. And then they said I couldn't go there for a year. And if I showed up on their property, they were going to take me to jail for questioning authority to go into a yoga class.
Wow, that's crazy. So what? Yeah. So what happened? What ended up happening? Why were they at your house?
Why were they here at my friend's house? Because they're looking for somebody that was hiding in the woods. Now the funny thing is, our friend had this shirt that said, "I am seriously up to no good," and the cop looked at that with no smile and said, "Whose shirt is this?"
That's funny.
And I was saying, well, maybe if they had some donuts, they would find it funny. But yeah, that's crazy. So it's like, it makes me think. And the reason they got rid of cops was because of the whole George Floyd thing.
Yeah. Wow.
So, and then there was a movie called Bad Boys, which had Will Smith in it and somebody else. Those movies,
Martin Lawrence. It was Will Smith and Martin Lawrence.
Yeah, those movies were pretty funny. I really liked those.
Yeah, man. It's so like. Did you ever? I'm going to ask you this. Did you ever have anything like paranormal or weird happen to you, like or strange or mysterious on Christmas? I've been asking people this.
Well, so much me because I'm more, skeptical, question. Like I remember being put in the basement. Like when I was up in New Jersey, my parents, and grandmother would put me in the basement and say it was Santa Claus coming, and I knew it wasn't. I heard them walking around, but my mother did. My mother saw the footprints because I wanted to bring this thing about tulpas up because I was thinking if people spend enough energy wishing for a tulpa and wishing for like Santa Claus or which is like this, which is remember that shirt I wore the last time, which was like believe in Santa, which was like, this dude, right? Like that one movie that is that Santa's like in the land of like cryptids and things, because he's a mystical being, right? So but my mother actually saw the footprints of the reindeer on the roof.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's insane.
yeah. She
For
remembers that
real?
as well. But me, no, because I didn't believe in it too much because I thought it was just a hoax, like the Tooth Fairy. Because I saw my father dressing up. He would come in with like a sheet over his head or whatever, and he'd be the Tooth Fairy for me. So I knew it was all the kind of the same thing.
You know what one of the most disturbing Christmas songs is that we all have to grow up listening to? I mean, if you grew up in like suburban America, everybody heard this song. It's I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus. Think about what that does to a little kid because like little kids don't know that the dad is Santa Claus. So they're hearing this song. It's like, wait, mom's kissing Santa Claus? Like, what the fuck is this? You know what I mean? Like,
Oh
it's
well,
if
there's
you
a
think about
worse
it,
one by Bill Mummy, who used to be on what was it, Lost in Space. Remember the show Lost in Space?
I
Well,
remember
Bill
Lost in Space.
used to be on George Norrie regularly, and there was a song that he did that goes, "I've got some presents for Santa. He's got a big one for me."
Oh God.
I didn't know. I don't even want to say anymore. It's an X-rated song.
Oh gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Who was this?
Bill Mooney. Bill
I don't.
Mooney, the little boy in Lost in Space. Do you remember
Wow.
Lost in Space? Yeah, he's been on Coast to Coast regularly.
Oh, okay. I never heard him on there. That yeah. I gotta. Yeah. I gotta. I'll probably be listening to some Coast to Coast over this weekend because like that's one thing. When I get nostalgic over the holidays, I tend to like listen
I
to like I
know,
was watching. Yeah.
I
So I'll be
know.
listening to Coast to
Anyway,
Coast.
back to the first thing that wasn't part of the hashtags, but because I wanted to cover the gingerbread man and the benefits of ginger, I thought this was important to share that there's a human sacrifice element to do with gingerbread man. And did you look up the cookie on Saturday Night Live? What was the Mr. Bill? Wasn't that it?
Mr.
Mr. Bill. Remember
Let me
that?
look it up. I'll
There's
look it up right now.
like a connection between Mr. Bill and Gingy. So
Um.
ginger on the physical levels is good for nausea, reducing inflammation, boosting immunity and digestion because it contains something called gingerol. Spiritually, it's used for attracting love and money, courage, purification, dispelling negativity, and enhancing focus, often linked to vitality and the solar plexus. So it's just a carminative. It's good for muscle aches and pains, arthritis, migraines, all kinds of things like that. But I knew that ginger needed to be used as an aid and a tonic just right now because of the certain foods that we're eating. Although I've been eating pretty healthy, I really haven't had much junk at all. Maybe a few bites of sweet cookies and things. I mean, my friend actually made something with walnuts that you dip it in these spices and bake it, and it really doesn't have much sugar at all. It's got a tiny bit of powdered sugar, but hardly any. So that's like the dessert that the go-to. And these Trader Joe's, there's some Christmas cookies and things, but these Trader Joe's chocolate covered um, cashews. So
Oh, that sounds good.
the gingerbread man, Gingy, uh, is a is man's spiritual meaning shifts from dark pagan origins of human sacrifice to Christian symbolization of Christ's creation and sacrifice and being molded like dough, representing themes of temptation, fleeting life, trusting appearances, and redemption, often used for a metaphor for spiritual journey and sin and finding salvation. And also, it has origins to Saturnalia. Early gingerbread men figures symbolize human sacrifice of the god Saturn, representing appeasing the gods through the winter solstice. It's also used in voodoo and witchcraft. So I thought that was interesting.
Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, that's like I'm trying to. Yeah, I never knew there was that many uses for gingerbread, and I didn't know it was used in witchcraft. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
The cookie's flight represents humanity's attempt to escape sin and temptation, but its eventual capture by the fox signifies the falling to temptation. Redemption and sacrifice. The story parallels Jesus' sacrifice just as the old woman sacrificed herself. Jesus died for humanity's sins, offering a path to redemption, the gingerbread man gospel. Discernment. The moral teaches us to look beyond the surface appearances, the fox's flattery, and trust God, not worldly promises. Like the gingerbread man was formed from dough, humans were made by God in his image, but can stray. And I'm also burning frankincense, and this is the time of the gold, frankincense, and myrrh with the wise men. So
Yeah. And you know who the wise men were? They were actually magi or magic men.
the
They were. They're.
magi. So here's the Gingy. Hello. Hello. What did you find out about Mr. Bill? Did you look up Mr. Bill?
You know what? I couldn't find any information on it. I couldn't find any. I couldn't find any information. It didn't. It says. It just says the cookie on Saturday Night Live likely refers to a viral shop Halloween cookies sketch from October 2024, where host Michael Keaton's zombie cookies meant to be spooky looked unintentionally phallic. I don't know. I'm not finding anything here. Is there any? Is there another way I could look it up, or would it? What do you
No,
think?
no, but I'm just getting there's a connection between Mr. Bill and Gingy because Gingy would lose his body parts and so would Mr. Bill. Like he'd fall off of something. I just kind of remember those episodes. I started thinking about it after meditating on the gingerbread man. I started seeing all that. But the other thing I want to talk about that's really weird is when I was tying up and bringing in the forced breeder program is because people in my circle have been saying they're watching The Handmaid's Tale, which is on Hulu, and I just started watching that. And
Wow.
that is really it's a futuristic dystopia novel by Canadian author Margaret Atwood that was published in 1985, set in the near future New England in a patriarchal totalitarian state known as the Republic of Gilead that has overthrown the United States government. And the handmaidens are like because there was like nuclear devastation, pollution, sexually transmitted diseases, all this, just corruption of everything, everything going to shit, going to hell in a handbasket, as Art Bell used to say. So they took everybody's rights away, and the women became infertile, so the population was going down, and there was women in the show that were fertile, so they dress them in red. They're the ones that become the ones that have to breed for the higher ups. They're the
Wow,
forced
so it
breed. They
literally is like a
marry.
forced breeder program. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So
insane. You
what's
know.
weird about that too is it talks about Rachel and Leah. I'm only a little bit over the first episode, but I wanted to bring this in because of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Abraham was married to Sarah, and Sarah, and then remember it said Abraham, Sarah couldn't get pregnant, and then she got pregnant like at 90, and then she had Isaac, and then there was Jake, and Isaac was Isaac and Ishmael, which was the fighting of the two brothers, and then there was Jacob and Esau, which is like the Middle East, which is going on with
What
the start. ten types in the Bible, the Isaac and Ishmael, and how Isaac received the blessing from Abraham, but Ishmael didn't, was sent away. Also, Abraham had to circumcise himself, which is, you know what that is, cutting yourself. And
Yeah.
also was told at first he was going to sacrifice his son, and then the angel said, "Don't sacrifice your son."
Well, I
And then
got something to add to that. I was used to watch Gerald Clark before he died. He made all these videos on the Anunnaki, and he said that Abraham or Abram, whatever he is, somehow he's the patriarch for Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. Like if there's
that's
one
right.
figure in these Abrahamic religions, it's Abraham, right? But guess what? Abraham's father, Terah, Tera, or Terah or whatever, he worked in the temple for one of the gods. He worked for Enlil, basically. He was serving Enlil or Yahweh, which we know as Enlil. Like, so, like it makes me, this is another clue that these Abrahamic religions were all started by the Anunnaki. I think so. I mean, I could be wrong, but I mean, like some, evidence supports that, and listen to how crazy this is. And I don't want to go off topic too much, but like, if you ever look at like the moon god that was Nanar Sin, and they guess what they called the moon god? There's the other name for him. His name was Allah. That was another name for Enlil's son, Nanar Sin. They called him Allah.
Right.
And it's weird that that's like the Stargate 10 patriarch.
That's
That's who
right.
they bow to.
So let me tie this into these shows. So Abraham begat Isaac. Isaac begat Jacob. Jacob is the one that was had two wives. The one that he loved was Rachel, and then the other one, which was like, have the breeders, because these two women, it was the 12 tribes of Israel from these two women, right? Well, the one that he loved was Rachel. And in the other show that I finished watching, which is on Netflix, that was inspired right before James passed away to watch, was called Orphan Black, and it's about cloning.
I
It's
heard
about
that's
cloning
really good.
and
That's on
super
Netflix, right?
soldiers. Yes, and then there's the next one that we're going to watch called Orphan Black Echoes, which is about 3D printing of humans. I mean, it discloses a
Wow.
lot, including spiked proteins, all the stuff about, genetic editing, different things like that, adding like something that looks like a centipede to change DNA. I mean, it's just really weird. But one of the original ones that couldn't be controlled, her name was Sarah, and the one that was like working for the I forget what the name of the company is, like that has a shell corporations to do with makeup and all this stuff. Like they have this one gal, her name's Crystal, and she's thinking, oh, this is just a conspiracy of makeup with distorted stem cell research and all that, and all these shell corporations, right, where they're money laundering through the makeup industry and skin enhancement and all this stuff. Well, the one that was in with Project Leda, which was the girls, all the clone girls that look like a certain girl. Her name was Rachel, and because she had this, and I don't want to tell too much of the story, but I have to tell this. I mean, and then if you watch it, you'll get more. But I will disclose this for people that don't watch the show. She has one time one of the characters stabs her in the eye. Okay, and you have the left and right eye of Horus. It's her left eye. And then she has surgery. She has a fake eye put in, but she notices that she starts being able to remote view. But she wasn't actually remote viewing. It was somebody looking through her eye, observing her. So whatever
Whoa.
she's looking at, they're looking too. Whatever she sees, they're looking at her through her eye. And she figures this out, so she takes her eye out. Well, in the
Oh.
tale, it's to do with the Rachel and Leah thing about birthing. And there's a Bible that says, if thy right eye offend thee, pluck it out. And this girl gets in trouble and she loses her eye, and that ties into the whole Islamic thing. So the woman that wrote this story was inspired by what happened with the what happened in Iran, because if you go back and look at like the flight attendants and stuff, the Iranian women were beautiful. They didn't have to wear all this shit that they wear, right? All this
Yeah.
hijab and all this bullshit that.
Oh, they're some of the most beautiful women in the world, the Persian women. Yeah, they really are. They say when Alexander the Great's army went into when they sacked Babylon back in the day, that was like the first thing they saw. The Greek soldiers saw the Persian women, and they went nuts. They took a bunch of them as wives, and that was even in the movie with Oliver Stone, Alexander, which it was kind of weird because they made Alexander like gay. And I was like, I don't know, but
Right.
you know what I mean? Not that I don't have anything against that. I just thought it was kind of weird, I don't know. It was like, I don't know. But like,
Yeah.
I was a big fan of the story of Alexander the Great because like he conquered the known world. You know what I mean? Like basically at that time that he got as far as India and he couldn't go past India, but he basically conquered the known world, and he set up shop in Babylon. I don't know. But sorry, I didn't mean to go off topic. Sorry.
No. And the thing is, the reason I wanted to bring this in is because of the whole, this show is disclosing everything Indy's been sharing. We've been talking about for the past few years about this forced breeder program. This show is disclosing not just that, but it's also like against. Eventually, they turn into an army. That's what happens. I don't know where it's going, but it might become sort of like watching the uh, Man in the High Castle, if you saw that, which is based on Philip K. Dick's novel about the alternative timeline about the Nazis winning the war, which divides into three different. And then all this is MK Ultra. I know you had Tommy talking about targeted individuals and all this MK Ultra stuff. I mean, it's just crazy, this MK Ultra programming and this voice of God technology and just all this stuff, just crazy stuff. It's crazy.
They can mess with people in ways that like are unimaginable. Like when I said to someone the other day, I was like, I thought someone was messing with me. They're like, it's not anyone in the community. They're like, it's the government. They'll make it look like it's people in the community. You know what I mean? Or it's someone using black magic, or it's the government using black magic. But it's like it's definitely people messing around with some evil shit. It really is. Like it's next level evil. It really is. And Tommy thinks that they're going to roll this out on the entire population. He thinks what's being done now to target individuals will eventually be done to everyone, which is pretty scary,
Yeah, and everybody donate to Rob. I know you're having problems. When you put that stuff up of where to donate, it needs to be embedded so when somebody clicks on that link, it's actually the right link too. There's a problem with that. You might want to look into that.
Oh, I will. Yeah, I will. Where did you see it at? Or where, I don't know. I don't want to change it now.
It doesn't come up as like highlighted. It wasn't highlighted. It wasn't highlighted. So, yeah. So that's what I noticed. But what I want to get into now is you made me aware of this whole. Okay, so I looked into this. Here we go again. J.D. Vance, Erica Kirk stuff.
Shit! This is crazy.
Like what I'm seeing is they want him to get away from Usha, his Indian wife, and marry Erica Kirk. Is what I'm getting. Is that what
I bet you? Honestly, Missy, no offense to the women, what I'm about to say, but I bet you he's banging her. I know that's a derogatory term, but like I bet you he really is. I guarantee you.
Oh, do you see the pictures of her grabbing his hair and everything? It's a full body hug. Let's put it that way. They're feeling parts when they're hugging each other, unless that's all AI. I mean, that's the problem. We don't know what's AI generated and what isn't, but for the whole MAGA, the way they want it, the way the pairing of first lady and whatever, Usha's not going to fit the role that they want. They want Erica and JD together. So what they'll do, it's sort of like in that movie with Matt Damon. What was the name of that movie with Matt Damon where he was on a certain timeline and there was a certain girl that he loved, but the handlers didn't want him with her? Google that.
Yeah. Can I just tell you something? The way I look at this, Missy, and I know Indy's been kind of getting into like more like right-wing politics, and that's great. I'm glad she is. But like for me personally, like if you look on my YouTube channel, it says rarely any ever politics ever. And when I do cover politics, it's something like this when it deals with a conspiracy, because I like to look at everything from an outsider lens. Like I know the left's demonic and satanic and they're pedophiles and all that stuff. I know that, right? But I don't think the right's much better. I think the right is manipulating people to get them to buy into some kind of agenda, but I don't know what their
Did
end game
Terry
is. But you know what?
did
I don't
Terry
trust any
Cassidy
politician.
say this? I don't know if she did, but what I think she said, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't want to misquote her, that the left might be doing the pedophiles, but the right side is the one that's taken our people off planet to genetically enhance them and send them to Mars. Is that
She
true that she said that?
she
I thought I
thinks
heard
something
her
like
say
that might be going on. Yeah, I think
it's.
she thinks.
I
I
heard it
mean,
on your show. I'm not sure who said it, and I'm thinking it was her. And I kind of feel that because it's the Atlantean priesthood coming back. When I went down to Florida, I felt that when I knew Stargate 2 was moved to Palm Beach. When Iyasha said Stargate 2 is actually dark flowering, which is Sarasota, Siesta Key, is dark flowering in the grids. I was getting that they use artificial wormhole technology and they were actually able to move that Stargate, kind of like they moved Stargate 10 to the UK and also in New York City. There's an
yeah,
outcropping of Stargate 10 in New York City now, but at the same time, while that's happening, Arthur is rising in the uh, the Stonehenge area, which was actually a very corrupted area. But I'm also getting that the elevated part of New York is in the Adirondacks. As Stargate 10, as the Stargate 10 types and everything going on in Manhattan is descending, the Adirondacks are ascending. They're on the
yeah.
us line. Okay, the Adirondacks are
Well,
beautiful.
did you see that Trump endorsed Zondami or whatever his name is? Like somehow he endorsed him or something like that. Did you see that?
I pay attention that much to that, but there's so much to look at right now. I've heard some good things that were going on with the medical system with RFK Jr. and stuff like that, but I didn't listen to too much. I've been pretty busy just with my own stuff going on.
Yeah, well, it was like about a couple weeks ago. They had a thing and it showed like Trump. I guess he somewhat endorsed that Stargate 10 mayor.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, that's what you're talking. Oh yeah, yeah. We talked about that. We covered that. Yes, that stuff on X that we heard that he said there was a quote that said, "Oh, the liberals think he's a great guy, and you guys are going to think he's good too." I don't know. See, the thing is, we still don't know when we're looking on X because X is so volatile. What's real and what's fake? We don't know what's AI generated, but I get a feeling that the playbook is, it's a divide and conquer strategy, and it makes sense that they probably, because some people also say that the Erica Kirk that is out in front now isn't even the same Erica Kirk. I think Carrie said this, that they're in witness protection. What do you think about that?
I think there's a lot. I've been seeing more and more evidence that something weird happened that day. But and I
Yeah.
talked to Matthew the other day when Matthew was on my phone. He thinks like he can read energy, and I trust that he can. I really trust his and he thinks that like whoever that was that day, whether it was an actor or it was actually Charlie Kirk, he thinks that someone left this earth plane. You know what I mean? From his read on the
Right.
energy. So I kind of trust that, but like also at the same time, it's just like people are just pulling out so many things that look like that it could be faked. Like they were talking about some makeup effects guy named Mike so and so who was had something to do with it, and they were showing how they can run blood up the back of the neck and make it look like it was like insane. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They showed like how they could make a whole person look like a different person, and like. It was just wild, like the shit that it was bizarre. I don't know if anybody saw that, what I'm talking about. It was on Instagram. It was like,
Yeah.
it was fascinating to say the least. So I don't know. I trust Matthew, like I said, but like also I'm just conspiracy. I'm conspiracy and skeptical about everything. I'm always am. Like I don't know. I just yeah. So I don't know where I'm at with that.
Meanwhile, in the land of, wait for it, Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System. Yes, that's the acronym for the 3I Atlas, which is supposed to be on the way out right now, is emitting more of a red frequency, which makes me think of the blue star Kachina and then the red star Kachina. And
Yeah.
nothing really happened on the 19th that I'm aware of, except all this stuff just being more polarized, which connects, I think, with like voice of God technology and how everything is affecting people with the MK Ultra mind control. But I don't see that
Yeah.
anything specific happened with 3I Atlas. Maybe it's a psyop. I don't know.
That was another thing we talked about when I had Matthew on the other night. We talked about how 3i Atlas has kind of been like the talk of the town, right? Like there's been no other subject that's hit our community so hard as 3i Atlas. Like I had like 18 different people come on and share their opinions about what they thought 3i Atlas was. Like, it was amazing. Like I've never seen a subject take over the community so much, and like so many different people have theories on what it is. And but it's weird. I think it's weird because it's like something that's in our atmosphere, and I guess nothing ever comes out in space. I mean, supposedly the secret space program's out there, but they don't ever show us anything like that. And NASA lies about everything, right? So I mean, like it's like it's like I guess we take what we can get, and 3i Atlas we can get.
We still don't know shit. Really, we really don't know anything.
Yeah,
That's what I'm getting. We don't know anything, right?
I agree. I agree.
But they said that today's update, the ongoing specific analysis of its unusual properties is a strong CO2 emissions, and it's a red color, likely from the galactic cosmic ray processing as it heads out of our solar system. It was closest to the Earth mid-December, with NASA missions continuing to gather data on the unique composition. So, nothing's really happened with that. That's just bye-bye to that. I'm going to delete these because I put on what I'm going to talk about as I take screenshots of what I'm going to talk about, right?
Yeah. Yeah. This was yeah. So let me ask you this: what did you think of my story? I saw you had that in the hashtags.
Oh
Like,
my God, I loved it, and I thought maybe we should read some of it. What do you think?
Oh, I don't know. I'm a little embarrassed. I don't want to.
Oh
I
my
mean,
God,
thank
some
you,
of
but
the
I don't
things
want.
were so funny when you got into YouTube's algorithm. I mean, you had some such funny comments that were so you, and I loved it. I thought it was great. I
You know,
love
it
the
only
way
took
the
me.
little aliens were dressed, that they're wearing their Santa Claus hats. But who was the other one? The other alien that was like more enlightened type of dude or whatever, different
I
look.
think that was more like a tall gray, or and then I think there was like I wrote a Nordic in there too, and then I made it out to be like it was a MyLab, but it was like they were just imagining the MyLab, and it was I'd have to go back and read it again, but I mean like it only took me 3 weeks to write that, and
It was so fun, Rob. I thought it was great. I thought it was just so fun. That's why I wanted to cover it, because it ties in with the whole paranormalness of Christmas and how people could create a tulpa. I mean, that could be an experiment in itself if somebody really wanted to. Um,
You know why I wanted to write that? Because there's not many like paranormal or ufological Christmas stories, and I thought, man, like that'd be great. Like if there was like a cool UFO Christmas story that's kind of funny that people can like kind of dig into. That like just a short read. Like I wasn't trying to like I gave it away for free on Patreon and Substack. I tried publishing it to Kindle and it didn't work, so I just was like, fuck it, I'm gonna give it away. And I figured it's Christmas, so why not? Like like, and the community does so much for me, so why not just give something back? And like, I just want people to like it, or I want people's honest feedback, like, whatever they think, whether they think it's bad or good or in between,
I
or if
thought it
it's
was
a
so much fun.
sucks.
I loved it, and I was thinking, if anybody has any comments, any stories, about anything paranormal to do with this time of the year, drop in the comments or go ahead and call. Because I said, why don't we take your calls? That would be fun if people want to
Yeah.
call in.
Yeah.
Talk. I
Let's.
know Tommy. When you had Tommy on, there was a gal that called in. So yeah, if somebody wants to call
Yeah.
in,
So here's. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, and you guys can call in. The phone number's 573-877-7637, and you can call in right now. The phone lines are on, and anybody can call. You can talk about anything. It doesn't have to be about Christmas. You can just and the outside the U.S. it's 0111-573-877-7637. Like sometimes we get a lot of calls. Sometimes we don't get any. You know what I mean? It just
east of the
depends.
Rockies, west of the Rockies, are calling the wild card line.
Wild card caller, you're on the air. Turn down your radio. I miss Art Bell. You know, that was one thing I used to love was like listening to Coast around the holidays. You know, that I'll never. You know, I love when George Norrie would play. Like sometimes they would play like the night before Christmas. I remember like on Coast to Coast around Christmas time and stuff. Like they're just like that, man. Like I don't know. Like I always wanted to host Coast to Coast. That's kind of my dream. And I told Matthew that I said we got to get him on as a guest, and I'd love to see you on there too, Missy. You know, and I'd love to
Oh,
host
I'd
it.
love
You know?
that. I would love that. Yeah. So, what's your favorite all-time Christmas movie? I know George's. I think is It's a Wonderful Life. He always talks about that movie.
Oh, I love It's a Wonderful Life. That's a beautiful. Yeah, I love that. I love National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I love Bad Santa. I like new movies, you know, but I like the old ones too. You know what I mean? I like Charlie Brown Christmas. You know, you can't go wrong with Charlie Brown Christmas.
Oh,
You know, that's
Elf is funny, but you know what? One of my favorite ones is Trapped in Paradise.
what's
Paradise
that? I don't know that.
Huh? You
Oh,
don't know
is it
that one?
really? No.
That's got in it John Lovitz, Dana Carvey, and Nicolas Cage.
Wow.
And it's about these bank robbers, and it's a sleepy town in Pennsylvania, kind of like Groundhog Day is Puxatawny, Pennsylvania. Yeah, Paradise. So you have to look at that one. Trapped in Paradise. It's really cute about these people are going to rob the bank, and then they give all the money. Oh, it's cute. It's funny.
Yeah, that would be amazing. I'd love to. Yeah, I want to see that. I might watch that tonight after I finish watching.
Yeah, put that on your list. Dana Carvey. Yeah, because Dana Carvey's funny. He starts stealing all the candy from the bank and everything. He's like a little kid. So great.
That's hilarious. Yeah. So yeah, guys, call in. We'd love to make it a Christmas show. You can call in from international, and I'd love to know how some of you people celebrate Christmas. I'd love to know some of your traditions. I'd love to know if you spend it with your family, if you spend it alone, if you spend it with your pets, what you eat. I'd love to know if you have any weird traditions. I'd love to know if anything paranormal ever happened to you during the holidays. You can call in and talk about all that, or you can just talk about a contact experience you had, or anything paranormal, anything you want to. What's that, Missy?
It's an intention candle with sigils in it. So the sigils.
Oh, I love that.
Were runes, the Nordic runes, and you overlay different runes. And this one is a relationship candle, and this one is for travel. Okay, and I was going to make another one for my muse. You can do them for money. So maybe I'll start making this. This was my friend's idea to do this, and it felt pretty powerful. So I wanted to share that with you, that people can create sigils, and that will actually help them with setting their intentions for 2026. Okay, this candle went out. Now, did it go out because I think it's just too liquidy? So I'll light it in a little bit. That one went out because it's a tea light. Because we want to start setting our intentions now for 2026.
Yeah, we got some interesting comments. We got when I asked about people's family, this is from Jim. Jim says my family are fake energy vampires. They put me in the MK Ultra program. My family is Gaia and the Fae. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if your family did that, that's fucked up, like,
That's awful.
um,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you were saying we should start setting
Setting our
intention.
intentions for 2026, so one way to do it is to draw sigils, and you can use runes. You can make a sigil also out of words, like overlay certain words, take the vowels out, use the consonants, and say, how if you're choosing to bring money in, well, you'd have to use an M, or you can use a dollar sign and things to you can use the number 8. There's ways to show how to represent money.
Yeah.
You also use things like sand dollars, because that's like money from the sea. Or
Wow.
you use pine cones or something that represents abundance. So you can use these things in nature, and you can use numbers and sigils and your name and things, and you can overlay them in art and infuse your intention into that. And then when you're burning it, you're like sending that energy up, right? Saying, this is what I'm choosing. So I thought of that, and also I thought of readings. But one of the things I was thinking about as I was looking at all this stuff, and I was looking at like paranormal things, because when Ron and I go down to Florida, we usually do cruises. I had been not necessarily, I want to do a different cruise besides the Bahamas, okay? And I didn't necessarily want to drive to Tampa, but I was willing to do it, to do something different, but I didn't want to. And it turns out that now the Margaritaville cruise, that's what I put in Margaritaville, has a stop with going to the Bahamas to Key West. And in Key West,
Wow.
you can go to the Fort East Martello Museum, which construction began in 1862 by the U.S. Army on the Civil War fort in order to defend Key West against a possible Confederate assault. And in 1950, the Key West Art and Historical Society, with volunteers, decided to turn this into a museum. And you know who is housed in this museum? What do you think?
No, who is that? Wait, who is that? I can't see.
Robert the Haunted Doll.
Oh, that's so cool.
Wouldn't it be
Oh,
great to plan a group trip and grid work mission on this cruise? Because there's one, we're going to do the one that goes to Freeport, but there's one that goes to Nassau and Key West. And what's cool about that is Nassau has a fort called Fort Charlotte that connects into Charlotte, North Carolina, where James used to live. And also, there was in Charleston, there's a place called James Island, and not too far from Old Fort, there's Lake James, and just crazy. But yeah, it was just coming to me, this whole thing about that would be an easy way to get people together, and it wouldn't cost that much, because when
yeah.
you're cruise, everything's paid for. Your hotel's paid for, your food is paid for, and it's like you can walk from the port. This port of call being in Key West, you could get off the ship and you can do a 10 or 15-minute walk to part of downtown, or you can take a cab ride to that Martello Museum.
Oh, I would love to do that. I think we should do that as a group. Like we should get everybody to that would be amazing. That would be, I mean, I want to have a conference. I had that Amy girl on my show the other day. She was a flight attendant for the elites. And she had, I was talking about having a conference in New Orleans, and people kind of poo-pooed it because they said New Orleans is evil. And I was like, well, I love New Orleans anyway. You know what I mean? And she has a place down there. She has like a bed and breakfast, but not just a bed and breakfast. She has like space. You know what I mean? She has space for a lot of people, or a decent amount of people. So I was like, man. I was like, maybe New Orleans is looking where like I'm going to have my conference. I don't know. I got to talk
But
to her
you
more.
have a conference on the cruise. I mean, I've done conferences on cruise ships. You know, Laura Eisenhower does this regular. I've done this ones that she's been on, which is Divine Travels. But I'm saying we could just do a small one on that. You know.
That would be great. Yeah, yeah, that'd be
So I was
great.
just thinking of that. That could be really a fun thing to do. So
What do you
if
guys think
anybody
about
has
that
any
money?
thoughts or feelings on that, drop it in the comments below and see, you know, what you think.
Here's that
Does
Amy.
anybody?
She's in the chat. She said she would love to have us. This is her. She's the one that she was a flight attendant for the elites. You
Oh,
know.
neat.
Yeah. But I mean, like, but no, I mean, like, maybe we could do both. Maybe we could have the cruise and go, and then come back and have a conference in New Orleans. You know. I mean, I don't know, like something like
Right, and
that.
you know, not off the table as far as the Charleston grid work and doing things in Western North Carolina too. I mean, it's just
Yeah,
it doesn't
that would be
happen.
cool. I would just want to find a way for like people that are international to come, because I know that there's so many people that watch that are international, and like I don't know how we would work that out, you know? Like I mean, like I don't know. I don't know how I would figure that out. I'm just like, you know, I'd probably need a lot of money to help people get here and stuff like that, you know, which I don't have right now. You know, so it's like, you know, I don't know. I don't want people to have to pay a big expensive amount to get over here from Australia or England or wherever, but I do want them to be here because they're part of the family. You know, like it's like I would want everybody to be there. You know, like I don't know, like I don't know, like
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
So
does any questions or comments? What are people feeling in the chat? What are people
um
for
I
tomorrow?
know Nellie said she just got back from her mom's from Christmas Eve. I had that comment here. People are just kind of talking in the chat. Um, let me see here. Um, yeah, nothing. Just kind of basic chat. Nothing. Nothing. No, nothing real interesting. Nothing worth putting up on the screen right now. And again, if anybody wants to call in, you can call in. The number's 573-877-7637. I thought we would get more call-ins for the night before Christmas Eve, you know? And then tomorrow, guys, I'm going to have Breakaway Ray on. He's going to do tarot readings at midnight Eastern time. So if you guys want to come get a reading and hang out for, you know, to bring in Christmas or whatever you want to call it, winter solstice, you know, we're going to be up at midnight or midnight my time doing readings and stuff like that. And you can probably call in then too. But like, I'd love it if anybody called in. Like, I see Colleen's in the audience. Colleen, you can call in because I know you had some theories about Vance and Erica Kirk. If you want to share that, call in, Colleen. And yeah, I just saw you in the chat. That's why I brought you up. She called me earlier. She was freaked out about it because she was saying that like she said that Vance said in his speech that they're going to slay the dragon, and you know a lot of
I'm
people.
looking for that. I was trying to find that. If somebody can send that to me, that'd be great. Because I was looking for that. I went on X, I went on YouTube, and I went on Google News, and I went on Facebook, and I couldn't find exactly that. But what I did find is, to me, it looks like they're trying to set up JD and Erica together.
Yeah, yeah, that's a power play, probably, right? Like,
Yeah, of course. It always is. So anyway, I pulled a rune before I get into my cards, and the rune looks like this. It's an arrow pointing up, and it's called Tiwaz, and it means tire. It's T for top. It's for the god Tuesday, and today is Tuesday. The god of battles and legislation, protector of warriors, courage and compassion. Its characteristics are to tactical genius, courage, bravery, dedication, and daring, protection on voyages, negotiating legislative ability. Tiwaz is named after the Norse god Tyr, who is Tuesday and also the Norse equivalent of Zeus or Jupiter. He was the god of war and justice, fair law and regulation, success through sacrifice. He was courageous, fearless, a master tactician, and a consummate diplomat. He allowed a wolf to bite off his right hand in order to bind the wolf's chaotic force, thus protects warriors both physical and spiritual, and disabled the left hand. Tiwaz also represents determination, male sexuality. It symbolizes new challenges and understandings. Personal interpretation. There is a need for courage right now as your victory is already assured in your heart and remains true. Make sure all skill and wisdom you have acquired so far protect your faith as it will be challenged, but truth and honesty and justice will always prevail. Also, uncover your hidden talents of leadership. One who appears as a fool is in fact courageous.
I love that. I love that. I love that. That's cool. Yeah. They're talking about dragons in the chat because like what they were talking about was like the advance said he wanted to slay the dragon, and a lot of people in our community consider themselves dragons. Like, you know, they feel like they're connected to the dragon. So they take that as like an insult. You know what I mean? Like
there's different dragons. There's, the Chinese. All the dragons are fighting, like the Chinese dragons, the Russian dragons. It's different factions. So his meaning is different than the work that we are doing with, like the dragon ley lines and things like that, and being riders of the dragon. You're more like in Harry Potter. It's a different type of energetic. So dragon is a metaphor that's used in many different ways. Ron got a new dragon necklace because he had to have the dragon clothes. We're feeling like we need to call on as a powerful ally. Does anybody want any card readings or anything?
Would anybody like a reading while we're
donate to Rob? Buy him a coffee.
And I wanted to say hi to my good friend Maya. Maya, good to see you. That's why I put up your comment here. I'm glad you're here with us. Merry Christmas to you and your family, Maya. Or whatever, whatever anybody celebrates out there. I don't know if everybody celebrates Christmas or what, like, or, because I know, let me see here.
If anybody, Rob, I can't remember. Did we cover all the hashtags? Oh, the weather. I was going to bring that up. Remember, I was stuck at my dad's for a few days. Got snowed in. Now it's in the 60s.
You know what? Yeah, when you said that, Missy, before when you said that it was freezing here, but then all of a sudden it warmed up. All of a sudden, I was like, "Holy shit!" Missy was right. Like it really did warm up. Oh, we got a bunch of people who said they want readings. We got Maya wants a reading. Anchor Haven wants a reading. Slavka would like a reading. Where I guess I'll just start in line. So we'll do Maya first.
Dreaming of a white Christmas. Can't be dreaming of a white Christmas. You're going to be dreaming of a warm Christmas instead of white.
Yeah, but I kind of like a white Christmas. I like a.
But it didn't happen. It's not happening, and maybe for some people, they because we already had the snow. That people want to shop and stuff, and they can't go out. They get stuck and they can't go out.
Yeah, that's how it is here, Missy. I don't know if I told you this last time, but every time it snows here really bad, people hit up the store for bread, eggs, and milk. For some reason, it's like the nostalgic thing to do in Pennsylvania. Like if you know it's going to snow bad, you always go out and get bread, eggs, and milk. I don't know why, and I know there's people that are vegans out there, but like it's like a weird thing Pennsylvanians do. I don't know.
See.
Oh, that is a cool mug. That's a cool mug. I love that.
Okay, so ask away. Ask a question.
Maya, do you have a question? And then we'll get to Anchor Haven and then Slavka next. And then ask your question, Maya, and then
somebody willing to take a risk. Knight of Swords. That's about risk taking. So you have to put yourself out there. I don't know what your question is, but go ahead and put yourself out there because you can't receive if you don't take a risk and put yourself out there. If you stay hidden, it's not going to work. So you can't stay hidden. I know it's tempting to just be an introvert, but you have to be a little bit extroverted and just go for it. So that's for somebody.
She just said general. She just wants general.
Did that resonate with her?
Yeah, I think it does. And she's
I'm sort of getting that whatever she's focused on mentally, go higher with that. Go tap into the higher mental realm, to get out of the emotion, the observer level. So like a
Sorry, she
bird
said.
hovering. That was coming in last time when we did the show of Indy, like a bird of prey, being able to actually look down on what you want to manifest. But you have to let it go. You have to put it in the ground like a seed, and then you have to be able to like let it go. You can't hang on to what it is once you've released it. But you want to
Yeah.
be the observer. That's important.
Yeah, she does hypnosis for a living, or that's what her she does like hypnotic regressions.
Oh, well,
She's a
claiming authority, King of Swords. This has that bird in it too. So she's already in that space of being able to direct people in that thought process, because that's what you have to do. You have to get that, you have to get the agitated monkey mind out of the way and be in that meditative space to be able to be, programmed or deal with program. It's either programming or subliminal, looking at subliminal messages and all that kind of stuff. Some people actually can't be hypnotized. What do you say to that? And this is more about like
true.
taking risks too.
Yeah,
I think for those of us that need to step forward, now's the time. We have to start moving forward. We can't be
yeah,
held back more by all the shit that's going on. We have to actually start moving forward in a direction.
I agree. That's well said. Yeah, I like that reading. That's good. And I fired up a joint, guys, for Christmas. Merry Christmas. I just have some little roaches left. I don't have a full joint. I got to go to the weed store tomorrow. But anyway.
Okay. When you say the weed store, is that a dispensary? Do you have a dispensary?
No, I don't have a medical card. I just go get the and Jason will laugh at me because
But
Jason's like a weed.
is it legal or is it Delta 8?
Yeah, I just get the legal joints. They're only like $10 each. You know what I mean?
But what I mean, what Delta is it? Is it the real?
It's like
stuff?
no, it's like THCA, but it works. It's really good. It's
Okay,
it works
is it
good
the
for me.
one? Okay, there's Delta 8, which Delta 8 is the way around it is it's hemp that they pick in North Carolina. This is the way it was, and then they spray it with 3% THC. But that's kind of not great to be toxic. Then there's like the Delta 9 and 10. Not sure which one's which, but some of it they pick it as a baby, and then they ripen it after it's been picked, and this is their way around it to have it grandfathered in. But in Swain County, which is Cherokee, there's an actual dispensary that anybody can go buy the real stuff. It's legal, or if you have a medical card, you don't have you it can be covered on prescription, but it's still not technically legal
See,
for the real stuff. It's more
yeah,
Delta 8. So is it like that, or is it more like do you
yeah,
go to an Indian reservation?
it's a no, it's called THCA. It's like some it's I guess it's a variant of Delta 8 or 9. It's like I'll read it to what it is. Like
Is it the one that they pick? They pick it when it's a baby, and then they ripen it. That one's better than Delta 8, I think.
it says THCA is converted into a psychoactive THC chemical when heated, smoked, or vaped. It's THCA is a naturally occurring cannabinoid that is abundant in raw cannabis buds and does not have psychoactive qualities when consumed until unprocessed form. But then it says THCA is converted into psychoactive THC chemical when heated, smoked, or vaped. I'll tell you what, it does the trick for me. So it's basically
Okay.
the same weed. I mean, I don't know how they get around doing it. Jason would know because Jason's like a weed aficionado. You know what I mean? He knows
Right.
everything that you know about weed. I swear to God, Jason is like, he has a Reddit page about weed. You know what I mean? Like, and like he has pictures of like, all these like amazing buds and stuff. He's I think he should I think he should have a job as he's one of my best moderators, but I think he should have a job as in like the pot industry because he deserves it. He's really good at that stuff, But
Yeah, the Cherokee place also has the edibles where you can try the cookies and all these things ahead of time, with nothing in it, and then they'll put the stuff in it for you. Some of that stuff it affects you. I don't know. Some of it has affected me in a negative way because you don't know what it's going to do.
Yeah, that's true.
Sensory, it's better, but the store we have in the Asheville area that's everywhere. It's called Octopus Garden. That's like the Delta 8, has all that, and the CBD and all those different things, and even some of the mushroom type of things. It's got lion's mane and some kind of psychoactive, but not psilocybin or not what is not what's the word I'm looking for? Psychoactive, but not hallucinogenic quality of mushrooms.
You know what? They had that when I was in Florida. It was weird. Like when I was in Florida, you could go into the store and they had like buds, but then they also had like synthetic mushrooms. And I thought I tried them because I was like curious to see like what.
Not good. No.
It was not like, I don't know what it was. I don't know. I didn't understand it. I don't know if it was synthetic or I have no clue, but it was supposed to be like a derivative of like a legal version of psilocybin. But like, I just couldn't get like what it was or like how it was, you know what I mean? Like, I don't understand that at all.
Yeah. I don't think synthetic is good. That's not good.
Yeah.
So what else do people saying in the chat as far as readings?
Oh yeah, we got two more. Sorry. We got Anchor Haven and let me see here. Anchor Haven just says yes, please. Anchor Haven, do you have a question? I'm looking on my phone too. I'm looking down because I'm looking at I have to stay on a certain place on the chat on my computer so I don't lose who's next. But then I got to look on the question.
Their emotional. I mean, the mental cards came in with the 8. Now the emotional. So it's sort of about lining the mental faculties with the emotion and the higher expression of 8, which is the higher heart energy, which is the thymus. So it's coming from not the lower chakras, but the higher heart energy. For whatever they want to manifest, they need the heart energy to magnetize it to them instead of just push out mentally, think about it. Somebody needs to draw it in and magnetize it to them. Higher heart. I don't know who this is for.
Anchor Haven.
Whatever.
Julia Anchor Haven. Her name is Julia. Sorry. Yeah.
And then another king. So it's really about kings and 8s tonight. So King of Wands, which is about mentally, it's more the mental fields, but going vertically to connect with that higher mind. Because we got to connect with the higher mind because the mind control is so pertinent right now. With what they're trying to do. Just so, yeah.
Oh, let me see here.
And what's New Year's Eve going to look like, Rob? What are you doing New Year's Eve?
Yeah, that's right. I'll announce it now. Yeah, I'm having a party, I guess. Another one. Okay. I mean, it's going to start at like 9 or 10 and then go to like maybe 1 or 2 a.m. And I have no clue who's going to show up. It's open to anybody who wants to come. I would send the link out to about 200 people and see whoever wants to show up, and if anybody responds to the post, but I don't know. I'm getting a feeling we might not get a lot of people for New Year's. I just haven't, and I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, I've done it every year for the last 2-3 years. So it's like, and people always show up and it's always different people, but like, I don't know. I don't know. I mean,
I'll be coming in early, closer to 9. And at midnight, I've got something to do. We have a meditation to do at midnight because it's important to send love and light into the world with the way things are going. Okay, this person, Page of Wands. So it's another Wands, but the page is like being like a child.
Wow.
So you have to be childlike to enter the kingdom is what comes to me.
Wow. I love that.
I think we covered everything, Rob. I think we did. Yeah. I think we hit the highlights of everything. Just look at the hashtags and see if there was anything else we needed to talk about.
We have one more. Can we do one more reading? Sure. We have Slavka, the Natural Sentient. She's the one. Me and her have the same birthday. Our birthday is January 11th, 1980. So our birthday's coming. But yeah, we actually, and it's crazy. She's from Czechoslovakia or Slovakia, and I'm from here, Pittsburgh, and we have the exact same birthday. I mean, I know that can happen with people and stuff. It's just weird that like we meet in this community. I don't know. It's weird. Anyway, so she's like a sister, but like she also travels the world. She goes to we did a show with her in Egypt. We did a show with her in Göbekli Tepe. We did a show with her in where was it?
She
It was
travels the world. Well, I pulled the world
uh,
card. She travels the world, and I guess she's coming into a real harmonious time. So whatever she's trying to manifest, I get it's going to physically manifest, because look at this card here, Three of Pentacles. So she's coming into a good time, and also the Fool. So like ready to take, new beginnings. The Zero card, which is very potent, which is infinite possibilities. I mean, the Fool because the Fool has different meanings, but the Fool can be the enlightened one too. It's like the seed card. So you have the world, and then you have the Fool, right? The end, and then
yeah.
the beginning. So that's great for her.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. That was
When's
great.
Breakaway Ray coming on?
Breakaway Ray's coming on tomorrow at midnight. So
Oh,
Christmas
okay.
Eve at midnight. So as Christmas Eve turns into Christmas on the East Coast, we'll be doing readings. Like, so do you think we should put out good intention, like you said earlier, like you're going to do on New Year's? Do you think I should do that on Christmas too?
Yeah. You put out good intention. We want to
Like
start
we always do that, right?
intending
Like I mean,
now. We want to start intending now in this liminal space, which I feel like started on the 12th of December, 12/12, and then the reverse of that is 12/21, and to keep that going into the 6th of January, which is Wise Men's Epiphany, the day of the Magi, which they call Old Christmas.
oh shit, that's so cool. What's that all about?
The Magi, the January 6th is Epiphany. That's officially when they say the Christmas season is over after that day.
Oh,
Yeah. Which
that's
is,
so.
gold, frankincense, and myrrh. That's when the wise men saw the star. That's what that's about. Epiphany.
Wow.
And having an epiphany is having like a realization when you
Here's
get
a
together.
good question for you. I know you get into history and stuff, and you get into like conspiracy theories and history, and like so, like one of the biggest conspiracy theories out there that will ever absolutely be in my mind is Jesus. And who is he? Who was he really? What did he do? I mean, did he go to India? Was he a real person? Was he a carpenter? Was he a Jew? I mean, we don't know anything. There's people that say he was Yeshua ben Yosef. Then people say he was someone else. Then other people say there's two Jesuses. I mean, there's so many conspiracy theories around that one person. What's crazy?
I think he's a composite where there's many stories about him, and it's a composite. And I don't think December 25th has anything at all to do with Jesus. It's Mithras.
Yeah,
it's the Roman
and also
Jesus was probably born in the spring or in September.
The real Jesus, you're saying?
The real Yeshua, yeah.
Yeah.
Because why would, if the story about flocks of sheep and all that doesn't happen in the winter.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to tell you is
when you would have seen Polaris, you have to look at when certain things were in the night sky, what time of year that is. But I think the 25th has to do with, like I said, the winter solstice. The sun comes back on the horizon after the third day, which is like the fourth day from the winter solstice. In the northern hemisphere, you can see the sun again. That's why December 25th. And it's also Saturnalia.
Wow, yeah. That one thing I was going to say was about that story about the Jesus story goes back to Mithra. It also goes back, as they say, Dionysus, Krishna, and like other characters have had this reoccurring story, and it's been told throughout time. And like it's like we got duped or something, or a large part of the world is duped because a large part of the world actually believe, the official narrative, which is crazy. You know what I mean?
And then we have the either or consciousness. Now we can choose to make choices, but there's also the Vesica Pisces in there. So the Vesica Pisces is a distorted symbol. It's like the Fibonacci sequence in the Mobius strip where it keeps looping, and it's also like the Ouroboros with the snake biting its tail, where these things it just keeps it's a loop. It's like a time loop. It plays over and over again, and we need to get out of the you know, we need to get out of the loop. We need to go beyond that loop consciousness.
Yeah, that's deep. Yeah, this was great, Missy. I think this was an awesome show.
Yeah.
What,
We always have.
is there anything you wanted to cover before we go?
I just want to see if we covered everything in the hashtags and say that I would be on New Year's Eve. And if anybody's interested in connecting with me for any kind of readings or, you know, anything, to email me at my email, which is Hill, Hill, Night, Nite, Vision, Vision, at gmail.com, hillnightvision at gmail.com. Friend me on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm also on X, but I don't do anything on X.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't go on there much. I only go on there to promote my shows, you know. I don't, because every time I go on X, it rage baits me. You know? It really is. It gets me stuff that gets me inflamed. I'm like, I can't even look at this, you know. It's that's absolutely done for a reason, I think, you know. Like they know what they're doing, you know.
Yep.
They know what who they're trying to affect, a large part of the population, and how they want to steer people. You see how they want to steer people one way or another. It's weird.
He knows when you've been sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good. So be good for goodness sake. I love the I love the meme that says, I think I've been good. Well, maybe I haven't been that good. You know what? I'll just buy my own shit. Have you seen that? Better not cry. Better not pout. I'm telling you why. Because Krampus. No, Santa Claus is coming. It'll be Krampus if it's not good, right? It's either.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Missy. This was awesome. And everybody, if you don't tune in tomorrow night, have a Merry Christmas and have a Happy New Year. And I will see you guys soon.
Rob, I'll see you New Year's